It doesn't get much better in New Zealand provincial rugby than Auckland against Canterbury, and in 2007 there's plenty at stake. Both sides come into week 10 of the Air New Zealand Cup with unblemished records, and just for good measure, the Ranfurly Shield up for grabs as well. These two great unions have played 20 Ranfurly Shield matches against each other, with the log changing hands 6 times, 4 wins by Auckland, 2 by Canterbury, and of course tonight Auckland are challenging and Canterbury are defending. Well, this is the championship table as it stands at the moment, and Auckland and Canterbury have done everything right. Auckland a couple of bonus points ahead starting this final week. Wellington now confirmed in 3rd place, Hawke's Bay confirmed in 4th place, Waikato 5th and Southland 6th. Otago will finish 7th, and then there's a scrap, and that happens tomorrow, to decide who finishes in 8th place. Taranaki still have a chance to do so, but they need to grab 5 points out of their match against Counties Manukau tomorrow afternoon. So there's still plenty at stake in this final week of round robin in the Air New Zealand Cup. Crowd of just over 20,000 here at AMI Stadium tonight. Stu Wilson is with me in the commentary, and Stewie, this should be a beauty.
Well, we have the classic case of opposites. Auckland's outrageous flair up against Canterbury's controlled and structured balance. It's your typical north-south, and don't let anyone be aware of that, because if you're in the South Island, you'd be picking the red and blacks, and if you're in the north, you'd want the blue and the whites. Hard to pick. Tell you what, though, Nisbo, it'll come down to the side who makes the least amount of errors and mistakes.
Yes, it should be another classic as Auckland make their way onto the park, and coach Pat Lam has gone for his strongest possible pack. And one of the big pluses, the return of Daniel Braid at open side. Braid has been quite outstanding this season, and there'll be general relief in the Auckland ranch that he's recovered from injury. Braid's return means that Jerome Kaino goes back to number 8. The tight 5, the same that started against Otago. And a big night tonight for Auckland's popular skipper Sam Tuitupou. He plays his 50th match for the province. The former All Black is heading overseas at season's end, and so he'd like nothing better than a major prize before he goes. Elsewhere, Isa Nathiwa returns to first 5/8, and Brent Ward is back in the number 15 jersey. And as always, plenty of depth on that Auckland bench. So Auckland have gone to the left as we see them, to the northern end. Ian Smith sideline. Smithy, any advantage?
Little bit of breeze favouring Auckland, just a bit of an easterly, not major though, Nisbo. Underfoot conditions absolutely perfect. It's been a great day in Christchurch, as it has around most of the country. Here is Corey Flynn and the holders.
Yes, big night for them, defending the Shield. They won it, of course, at Hamilton 4 or 5 weeks ago, defended against Hawke's Bay. This is their second defence in this tenure. And the major talking point in the Canterbury pack tonight is that Hayden Hopgood is in for the injured Johnny Lio'o. And at lock, it must have been a tight call between Michael Patterson and Isaac Ross. Patterson, who's battled injury during the season, has got the nod with his pace about the field and general mobility. Canterbury have tried a number of second 5/8s this season with the likes of Ben Knoll, Tim Bateman and Hamish Gard. The latter fills that position tonight and faces a tough examination from an experienced Auckland backline, and the combination of Kevin Senio and Stephen Brett will be vital to Canterbury's chances of success in this match. And the 7 players on the bench for Canterbury tonight, and I have the feeling that the reserve players are going to play a big part eventually in this game. Tonight's referee, Chris Pollock. So a good crowd in attendance, over 20,000. And the Ranfurly Shield up for grabs. Top qualifier at the end of the round robin, that is up for grabs. Auckland leading by a couple of bonus points. And we're underway at AMI Stadium. The kickoff is made. Canterbury against Auckland. And Scott Hamilton immediately turns and boots it off downfield. And it's off Brent Ward's knee. And he gives it off to Nathiwa. This will land about 10 out from the 22. Well, it won't land. It'll be claimed, but it's not claimed. And Brent Ward takes it down. It was dropped by Kevin Senio. And here's a good chance for Auckland early on as Tuitupou shifts it across. Ball swung away by John Afoa. And the referee playing an advantage, the knock on. So a couple of mistakes, one from either side early on.
Yeah, that pass shouldn't have been thrown. The defence were up very flat. Defence and ball reached the receiver at the same time, so it broke down. Good start by Auckland with a good kick chase from Brent Ward. Won't be seeing him around for a couple of years. He's off to Paris. Yet another one. Seeks to ply his trade offshore. Pretty lucrative, I hear, too.
Otherwise, it's mine. Crouch. Too far away.
Not a great pass by John Afoa. And Auckland spilling the ball forward. So we go to this first scrum, which is taking an age to get down.
Come on. Come on, let's get into this,
Troy
please.
Flavel on the side of the scrum for Auckland tonight. What are we waiting for?
Let's go. Get in. Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage. Stay up. Stay straight.
Rolled in by Senio. Pretty good Auckland scrum. Senio comes away with it. Immediately taken by Braid.
Out 7. Step in.
Corey Flynn has to hurl it back for Stephen Brett. And Canterbury under a little bit of pressure early on. This won't go out. Ward waiting. 12 metres on his own side of halfway. Gets it off to David Smith. Nailed. Very good tackle first up. He's a danger man, Smith. And Canterbury not only have nailed him, they've turned him. And Canterbury have counter-attacking opportunity. This has been dropped in beautifully in behind. Williams getting back after it. Controls it. Outstandingly well, too, for a big man.
Stay here, Tim. 11 go.
And Moa gets his kick off downfield. Now Hamilton might take it smartly. No, he decides not to.
Oh, that was a super tackle. Kieran Reid made the nail on David Smith because they'll be looking to close him down. You give him a little bit of space and David Smith can cause havoc. And a defensive tackle has created an attacking opportunity.
Flynn to throw the first line out. 3 minutes gone. No score. Goes towards the back. He overthrew it. So Braid has it off to Flavel. Lowered and a good tackle by Brett. Moa pushing Nafiwa onto his left boot, but he got reasonable distance. Now Hamilton to bring it back for Canterbury. Lining this one up as Moa, but Hamilton jumped in ahead of him. So Canterbury will have this. Out to Casey Laulala, looking to step his way through the blue and white line, which is pretty staunch. Now Senio works it across to Hopgood. He managed to slip the pass. Here's a chance.
Well. Michael Patterson. Did he get blocked with the pass? Certainly had an unmarked man on the inside. It was a good little dab. Just quick hands.
He's got guard on the inside.
No, you see, tried to throw the dummy. Went on his own with an unmarked man inside. Opportunity lost. Crucial.
Auckland survive for the moment as Moa bangs it off downfield. Gear waits. Has Hamilton in support. Quickly across to Williams. And Paul Williams takes it down the middle. 10 out from the 22. Away goes Senio. Gap there. Nobody at home for Auckland just briefly. Now they keep it going. Tuiali'i. Auckland not committing too many to the rucks at this point. That's a better defence. Good driving tackle there by McCartney, the hooker for Auckland. Now Senio. Again they're in the gap. Patterson, who's mobile. 5 inside the 22, and they keep it going. Brett across to Laulala. Heading back on the angle, and well and truly taken right on the 22. Still on the Canterbury side as they apply this early pressure. Now Tuiali'i throwing himself at the Auckland defence. Ball might have been turned over. No, it's not. And away goes Senio again, but on the short side and into touch.
Stay up. loose.
A relentless attack early on here from Canterbury, but Auckland surviving.
Oh, no, they had an opportunity there, Grant. Beautiful opportunity within the first 5 minutes to go down that edge. Auckland operating a few guys on the outside line on the defensive screen, rushing up, causing Casey Lalala to go in twice.
How's that, Keith? Get out, Reece!
Line-out throw was good. It's always dangerous going long on defence, but it worked out all right. Now Nathiwa hands it on. Auckland coming out from their own line. Now it's the kick made by Ward. Hamilton tries to drop it in behind. Nicely done by Scott Hamilton. Now he's got some support. Williams, and he's just been tipped up. Has Stephen Brett. The ball's still alive. And it was just an ankle tap that has saved Auckland from conceding the first try.
Well, Scott Hamilton's shown all the skills, his kicking skills. He put a bomb up in the air the last time. This time it's a chip and chase. Gathers it. Knows the man on the inside. Finds him. And just the tap trip by, I think it was Sam Tutupu.
Auckland hanging in. 7 minutes gone.
They're under the hammer.
Moa gets his hands on the ball. And this one is into touch, drifting nicely down the touchline.
Finally, Auckland kick it out and get some semblance of stability about their game, because all they've done so far is kick it down the likes of Hamilton's throat and suffer the consequences of the reason why they're really not behind by 7 points already is just good luck and a bad decision by a big Canterbury lock. But apart from that, their tactics are just a little bit awry here.
Canterbury win the line out. Senio under pressure, and he threw it away too. So the referee will play advantage.
No advantage, he was lost forward.
Advantage to Auckland at all. Kevin Senio put under a bit of pressure that time. It was a wayward tap from the line out. Big Kevin O'Neill, but Auckland at least getting up there and contesting and making it difficult.
Well, the old saying with a kick chase, as long as you get plenty of good purchase on your kicks and have a relentless kick chase, you can put teams back under the hammer, back under pressure. Canterbury doing it very well.
Auckland scrum, under a bit of pressure. And what's he going to do here? He's ruled that the front rows have come up.
Yeah, I know. Hey, you're going to swing your butt out like that again, it's going to go against you.
So a word of advice there for Ben Franks on this loose head side of the Canterbury scrum.
Swing your butt out there, Ben Franks. Celebrity dancing.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
That's a much better scrum as Nathiwa takes it to the line and goes straight through. Now he needs to link up if he can. He has, right up the centre with Smith. Got it away to Daniel Braid. And Auckland with their first real attacking opportunity as Flavel takes it in and holds it up. Now Moa clears it off to Nathiwa. Tui Tupo drops it back into Arfoa, spinning nicely. And they're inside the 22, Auckland, as Moa works it away. Nathiwa, quick hands again. Jerome Kaino, and the referee's got the arm out, so Auckland will get a penalty if they require it, and they will.
Holding on there.
Yeah, it was a ruck. You got to release the ball. Canterbury trying to slow that down. They went on their feet. First saute by the Auckland team into the Canterbury half. And Issa Nathiwa took it to the line. Look at him. He just takes the ball and says, right, I'm going to have a dip. Goes through. Starts looking for the support place. Fine one on the inside. David Smith. Daniel Braid, ever present there. And this is where the penalty happened. Now, that guy is not on his feet. He is illegally playing the ball, and that's where the penalty came.
Well, terrific tackle made by Hayden Hopgood on David Smith, because not many dragged David Smith on from behind, then got to his feet and made another tackle. But the initial break was Nathiwa blowing through Stephen Brett.
Well, there was talk in the last couple of days about Auckland identifying what they saw as some weaknesses in the Canterbury defence. I wonder whether we've seen one already. Issa Nathiwa, first penalty attempt of the evening. And up go the flags, and Auckland have the lead by 3 points to 0.
Well, Grant, it's interesting that you said about, you know, where they'll be probing, trying to find weaknesses. Now, when you analyse Canterbury and you go through where you think they have weaknesses, I'll tell you what, the cupboard's pretty bare because they're the complete outfit. But I would say that Auckland will be looking at Stephen Brett and Hamish Guard, and that's where they'll try and punch through.
Brett gets the kickoff. Williams goes up. Nobody really getting their hands towards the ball. Tip back on the Canterbury side. Gear goes after it. Now it's with Brett, and broken field play. Danger signs here. And he threw the pass nicely too. And here's Hamilton. Scott Hamilton straight under the bar he goes. And Canterbury hit back straight away. It was always going to happen once Brett got a little bit of room. And Canterbury are so clinical in those positions.
I said just before, they are the complete outfit. Most provincial unions in New Zealand use them as the benchmark. Now, this guy here, Stephen Brett, you don't let him have space like that because he'll rip you open. And they're one of the best support teams in the business. 1-2 guys following the ball carrier, and they've got that they made that look very easy, but that's a very clinical opportunity. They take their opportunities.
Restarts, restarts, restarts. After you've just got points, if you don't secure the ball, how often do you pay? That was Auckland's problem there. Brett converts, and how often does you see Sammy Tuitupo exposed like that?
Very rarely, Smithy, very rarely. But yes, it was a half-hearted attempt at the kickoff, and just look at Brett. And he had Kevin Senio with him, and what a beautifully timed pass. And in goes Scott Hamilton.
Well, hasn't he been influential in the first 5 minutes?
Nathiwa kicks off down to the try scorer, who immediately delivers. And Laulala, not a noted kicker of the ball, heaves it off downfield. Fielded by David Smith, who's on the right wing tonight, which is interesting. The wingers have changed sides from last week. And the kick by Auckland is into touch on the full. Well, it's living up to its billing already. 13 minutes gone. 7-3. Auckland lucky to survive the early onslaught, but then Canterbury striking back immediately after the penalty. Flynn throws. Patterson has it cleanly. Flynn controlling it here, but not going anywhere at the moment. Auckland's bulky forwards holding them up well. Quick hands here, but good defence, and the ball goes behind. Hopgood has to go back and recover. Kaino's gone down. Not looking good at all, whether he's just twisted his ankle away from the play. Kicked downfield by Brett. Now Stanley, Benson, Stanley busting out one, gives it off to Ward. He's got support too. And Auckland in possession. Penalty coming Auckland's way. He's playing advantage at the moment. Tuitupo trying to bust through instead of Fields. He's got another penalty now. I don't know if it's the same one or just the advantage still applying. Here's Bray getting on the outside. Chance now for Auckland. Big Simone Taumoipiao going downfield. Now the advantage disappeared with that break by Braid.
A little bit unlucky. It was a great run. Benson Stanley. This is where they tried to slow it down again, you know. That's twice. And the big fella. Not a bad tackle by Stephen Brett. You know, small on big. He's no fear. Canterbury playing in the correct part of the track, down on the half of Auckland. A couple of early missed tackles, a clean break by Benson Stanley, who played his 14th game for the Blue and Whites last weekend. Picked up his blazer, which took him 4 years. 4 years to get 14 games, so he's loyal. He's got blue and white blood running through that body.
Well, what I find interesting tonight, Stewie, is that Auckland have swapped their wingers. Smith's gone to the right wing tonight, and
Yeah.
Stanley's gone to the left.
Too sure about that. Played on opposite wings last week, didn't they, against Otago?
Yeah, they did. 15 minutes gone, first half at AMI Stadium, and Corey Flynn tipped by Patterson, untidy, straight into the arms of Kaino, and there's a chance here for Auckland. It's a good strong run as they're 85 metres away now. Putting his head down is Tom McCartney. Now Flavel twisting and turning, but well and truly contained, and now it's up off the ground, so Canterbury will keen to keep it there. There'll be a turnover otherwise. No, it's on the ground now. Another crack at the defence, this time by Taumoipia. Moa hands it off. Kaino looking to stretch. Short. Didn't quite make it. Referee in good position. Stretched the arm out and was just short of the chalk.
Yeah, good rugged, grunty play by Auckland.
Too many guys off their feet here.
Occasionally when Auckland get into this zone, they get a little bit impetuous and they start playing that 50-50 footy, and that creates errors. But this is Kaino, went very close there. Referee in a great spot to say, no, you got short. Was he short or not? No, he definitely short.
He did really well to hang on to the ball.
Let's go, please. Time off just
Two pretty good tackles in a row from Stephen Brett. One on Tomopia on the sideline, and he was underneath Jerome Kaino for that last one as well. Just held him up.
We're okay. Right. Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage. Straight. Stay straight. One.
Good straight scrum by Auckland off the back. Kaino, but he's under a lot of pressure.
Back here.
Moa stretching in to grab this. Going to work it off on the blind side, but he wasn't expecting it. Tom McCartney, he did pretty well to make the ground he did. Very tough to breach Canterbury in this close quarter stuff, but Auckland are having a crack at it.
Let it come, Reed.
Moa again looks to the blind side. It's taking an age. Now he goes himself. Gets some support from Braid.
Step, Reed.
Canterbury's defence holding up though.
7, get out. Advantage.
So advantage applies here. You might let this run a wee while and see whether Auckland know. So it's a gift 3 if they want them, and I'd imagine in a game of this magnitude they'll take them.
Up we come, please.
Yes, they got the reward.
Goal line.
They had the pressure on the red and blacks, got the penalty, and Canterbury, as we know, do know how to slow a game down. We've seen that in the past. We've seen that in previous games in the Air New Zealand Cup this season. This is Moa going having a dip. Daniel Braid there helping him. They just recycle that ball. And just watch number 7 there, coming on the side there, and it's...
A big night for Hayden Hopgood. Got the open side flanker job against Daniel Braid, with of course Johnny Leo'o on the injured list. So Isa Nathiwa, he should be able to throw this one over. Converts the penalty kick to make it 7 points to 6. 18 minutes into the game.
Well, I kind of think that Canterbury will be quite relieved. They only gave up 3 there. They were completely and utterly under siege. That's what they're all here. They're about really. Of course, the top team that wins this goes to the top of the table as well, and may well host the final. That could be secondary though in their mind.
Yes, the shield remains the greatest prize in New Zealand sport.
Back.
And Canterbury going to profit here from a bad reception of the kickoff by Auckland. Senio shifting it across to Brett. Now Lala lowered in a good tackle. Got up and went again though. Senio gets the call from Brett once more. Fires a nice low pass. They've got numbers here, plenty of them. Corey Flynn decides to straighten it up.
Get out, one.
They'll be looking to work it back to this near side again, but Auckland have muscled up. The kick goes through. Now it's been grabbed, but Brett got it back. Now he gives it back to Patterson. Canterbury will remain in possession. Senio has a go himself, lowered in a good tackle and lost the ball. Now it's been hoofed off downfield and the chasers are coming. And I tell you what, Smith's leading the charge, except it's bounced into touch.
Joshy, touch. Touch. Yeah.
Kevin Senio has a dab and just gets blasted out of his hands in the tackle situation.
You need to get over here. He's the mark on the line.
No, controlling the ball properly. Crucial in these top tier games. It's the big heavy hitters of New Zealand rugby at each other's throats.
Good line out throw by McCartney. Now here's Tui Tupo trying to barrel his way through midfield, and he got through too.
Get out of a 7.
Auckland working those channels round about first and second 5. Moa hands it off to Arfo, who charges straight through. Right near the 22, Canterbury falling off some tackles. Moa, here's Arfo again, Flavel. 6 metres away from the line as Auckland hoe into the ruck. They've got players on this near side to burn. Nathiwa back to Tui Tupo, quick hands, Hayu, as the Canterbury defence closes them down for the moment. Now Nathiwa, Braid. Ball is there for McCartney, he's lost it forward though. And Canterbury might have got out of this one as Hamilton bangs it into touch.
Well, for a big man, this John Afoa, he's got beautiful balance, good hands, he can step. They went down the short side again. And that's a great covering tackle by the Canterbury boys. And here's another one. It's out wide. They closed him down. And there's plenty of red and black jerseys there. They're desperate on defence.
Advantage.
Not such a flash throw, but it's been knocked forward by Canterbury, so Auckland have got an advantage applying here. Buried in there somewhere. Looks like Braid. Is it Braid in the back? No, Talmutia.
Get out, one.
Well, this is what Auckland need to do. They need to be very physical and aggressive at the breakdown, the rolling maul. If you don't take Canterbury on up front, you run second.
No. Right, that's one half. Get it moving. No.
Still got it in there.
Yeah, it's under control, and they're moving forward just patiently. The key is not to panic.
Pause, fine.
Canterbury coming a second wave. Now Moa clears it off to Nathiwa. Tui Tupo. Players coming on all sorts of angles. Tui Tupo gets it back. Tinga, ball has gone loose, and Canterbury back in possession, and away goes Hopgood straight up the centre.
Get out. Yeah, he's fine. Leave it one, Reed.
Ball has been turned over by McCartney, the hooker. So here's Moa dropping it on the foot, and he's got it back. And the pass is astray, but it's not over yet. As Stanley,
Off at 11.
6 or 7 metres away from the Canterbury line, and Moa to Nathiwa has a go himself. This time the Canterbury defence closes him down. Afoa, who's been really prominent. Now Tui Tupo had to hang on because the player was in front of him.
Hands out, Reed.
And Canterbury fancying their chances of getting it back, but no, it's an Auckland scrum.
This is good footy by the blue and whites. This is what it's all about. The big two have come to town.